Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, July 3rd, 2018. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. After yesterday's grand opening, the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center began operations today at its Accident and Emergency X-ray and Pharmacy departments in Georgetown, regarded as one of the most substantial developments locally in the health sector. The facility was constructed at a cost of 42 million EC dollars with support from the government of Cuba. It is expected to provide a wide range of surgical, dialysis and outpatient services to the population. Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
Over 10 years to be completed, and now that it is officially opened, the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center is destined to play a significant role in the provision of healthcare services here in SVG.
The MMDC was built to decentralize secondary healthcare services in SVG with respect to diagnostic and surgical services, as well as to upgrade primary healthcare by increasing availability, accessibility, and equity in the delivery of healthcare services. At yesterday's opening ceremony, Quantity Surveyor at the Ministry of Transport and Works, Damian Allen, gave an overview of the project.
The ground floor houses areas for dialysis, oncology, radiology, accident and emergency, surgery and outpatient clinic, central sterilization and supply department, kitchen, laundry, storage and maintenance areas on the ground floor. The first floor houses the air handling units for air conditioning. The facility is complemented by areas designated for parking, green spaces, and storage areas.
Chief Medical Officer in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Simone Keyser Beach, said the facility is part of the Georgetown Medical Complex, which also comprises of the Georgetown Smart Hospital and the Georgetown District Clinic. She added that full access to the facility will begin next Monday.
Care for ophthalmological or eye conditions, gastrointestinal or bowel conditions, cancer therapy in terms of chemotherapy in our 9-bed chemotherapy unit, and dialysis, hemodialysis for kidney impairment in our 9-bed dialysis unit would also be able to access that care here at the MMDC. In the future, we intend to add mobile mammography services, an expansion of the range of ambulatory services, a second site for our Herbaport pre-administration for patients with leg ulcers, and our expansion of our diagnostic services.
The Cuban ambassador to SVG, Vilma Reyes, said the MMDC stands as a monument to the power of friendship and solidarity between SVG and Cuba, and commended the government and people of SVG on their achievement.
The opening of this integral diagnostic center consummates a dream of Commander Fidel Castro. The inspirer of the construction of these centers to strengthen the efforts of the fraternal countries to increase health coverage. This center is called to become a powerful pillar of this invention in the Grenadines' national health system, and also a reference for the region as a whole.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves reflected on the conversation between himself and the late former president of Cuba, Fidel Castro, which led to the conceptualization of the now Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center. He said the facility will add to the value of the community of Georgetown, especially in the promotion of healthcare delivery and wellness.
The Cuban government and people, you assess their contribution here in money terms, it would be at least $4 million. Equipment and the technical advice and the design. This building was designed entirely by the Cubans, and we didn't have to pay 1 single cent. Tension and diabetes, and you'd expect arthritis. And the children, a lot of them have asthma. And you'll find here you don't have to go to town to hook up by any asthma machine, you know. We have 3 stations here. Everybody from all over the country will come up here for dialysis. They'll come for dialysis, and they will come for cancer treatment and other forms of diagnostic treatments.
A few members of the Georgetown community shared their views on the opening of the new healthcare facility.
They open up the hospital and we're glad for what happened to the hospital. We don't have to go to town, they're right in Georgetown.
That helped big up Georgetown. I mean, years ago, Mr. Sugartown, now we can say, but not Sugartown, health tongue.
The MMDC is said to be better positioned to save and improve lives here in Georgetown and the entire Vincentian society. Reporting for SVG-TV News, I am Nikita Tony.
And the coming into being of the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center will transform the state of healthcare here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's the position of Health Minister Luke Brown as he delivered remarks at the official opening of the Modern Medical Diagnostic Center yesterday. Extended gratitude to the government of Cuba for its role in the realization of the facility. Minister Brown said that the center will provide better access to health care for the 40,000 or so persons living between Bayaboo and Fancy.
We had considerable help in many respects from the Republic of Cuba, which contributed human and technical resources for the construction phase of the project, donated medical equipment, and sent a medical brigade consisting of 23 health specialists and other personnel to work alongside local professionals and experts to start up operations at this center. Would give new hope to persons suffering from kidney disease and many other medical problems. It represents a massive leap forward for our country's health and development. Without fear of contradiction, that this new modern medical and diagnostic center would make Georgetown the Mecca in the delivery of health care in the English-speaking Caribbean.
Minister Brown said that the center will also enhance diagnostic services in the country as it will be the first public facility to provide hemodialysis.
This is no doubt good news for Vincentians who need this type of treatment and would otherwise have a hard time affording it in the private sector. The cost of dialysis to an individual varies between $30,000 and $72,000 per year. In the years 2015 and 2016, a total of 53 persons died as a result of kidney disease. A person with kidney disease can live a relatively normal life if appropriate treatment is available and affordable. One of the government's goals is to prevent avoidable deaths by improving the quality of healthcare in SVG. The Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center helps the state to achieve this goal.
The health minister said that the facility will bring more than health benefits to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The Pan-American Health Organization has a vision for the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center to become the first chronic disease prevention center in the Caribbean. It is also good for the local economy. It would provide direct and indirect employment, stimulate commerce, and contribute to decentralization and rural economic development. A medical school might be attracted here to set up a campus in Georgetown. I remember a popular song from a few years ago which said, "Georgetown mash up, mash up." We now have to change the lyrics to say, "Georgetown build up, build up." And even the blind could see that comrade big up the sugar city.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves leaves the state today for Jamaica to attend the 39th meeting of the Conference of the Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM. The Prime Minister is being accompanied by the Budget Director, Ken Morris, and the Ambassador to CARICOM, Alan Alexander. The Conference of Heads of Government opens on Wednesday, July 4th, with an official ceremony and will run until Friday, July 6th, under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness. The conference will welcome its newest member, the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, who was elected to office following general elections on May 24th. The heads will also welcome back Prime Ministers Dr. Keith Mitchell of Grenada and Gaston Brown of Antigua and Barbuda, who were re-elected to office following general elections in their respective territories. Heads of government will meet in plenary sessions and caucus on July 5th and 6th to deliberate on matters of importance to the Caribbean Community CARICOM, including measures impacting the implementation of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, the CSME, crime and security in the region, and emerging geopolitical developments which can have an impact on the region's growth prospects. The government of South Africa is sending one of its top diplomats to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to take part in activities to commemorate the life and legacy of the late former South African President Nelson Mandela. A release from the Agency for Public Information states that the High Commissioner of the Republic of South Africa to St. Vincent, Noma Tamsanki, and Guy Villar will visit the state from July 15 to the 20th. The ambassador will be involved in a range of activities, including a Sentinel Relay and Freedom Day Songs concert on July 15th, the Nelson Mandela Lecture on July 17th, and a ceremony to name a highway in honor of Nelson Mandela on Wednesday, July 18th. Minister of Health Luke Brown announced last month that an interministerial committee was organizing 40 days of activities to celebrate the life of President Mandela, who died in December 2013. He would have celebrated his 100th birthday on July 18th this year. This country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said the visit of the South Africa High Commissioner to SVG serves as a testimony of the cordial relations between both countries and also highlights the significance of celebration of Nelson Mandela in the development of both countries. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has maintained its Tier 2 ranking in the United States Department of State's 2018 Trafficking in Persons Report, the TIP report. It is the second consecutive year that the country has attained this ranking. Releasing the report on June 28, Secretary of State Michael Pompeo said that this year's project report focuses on effective ways local communities can address human trafficking proactively and how national governments can support and empower them. We hear more in this report by Nikita Tony.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines was commended very highly for its efforts in combating human trafficking, both locally, regionally, and internationally, over the reporting period. The 2018 edition of the United States Department of State's Trafficking in Persons report states that the government demonstrated increasing efforts by investigating more suspected cases. It increased training in relevant government officials and NGOs, increased its cooperation with foreign governments to combat trafficking, and improved its public awareness campaigns. The 2018 TIP report also recommended that government does the following. 1. Amend the trafficking law to remove sentencing provisions allowing fines in lieu of imprisonment. Increase government's funding across all relevant agencies to combat human trafficking. 3. Implement the 2016 to 2020 National Action Plan. 4. Increase investigations of suspected sex and labor trafficking cases. And 5. Prosecute and convict traffickers. SVG's Prevention of Trafficking in Persons Act, the law that criminalizes human trafficking, is regarded as a model piece of legislation with very severe penalties for persons convicted of human trafficking. A person convicted of human trafficking in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is liable to imprisonment for 15 years or a fine of $25,000 or both. The convicted person can also be imprisoned for an additional 20 years under the subsection entitled Aggravated Circumstance if the victim is a pregnant woman and or the convicted person used a dangerous weapon to exploit his or her victim. There are other offenses under the Act which carry similar stringent penalties. With respect to the National Action Plan to Combat Human Trafficking 2016 to 2020, It was approved by Cabinet in 2016. The action plan was updated just over 1 year ago in June 2017 within the ACP EU Technical Assistance Program that was approved for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Nikita Tone reporting for SVG-TV News.
A senior traffic cop is renewing his call for omnibus operators here to exercise care in their operations on the streets of SVG. Inspector Henry Providence told SVG-TV News today that there have been a number of accidents over the past few days, with many of them involving omnibuses. Inspector Providence is reminding omnibus operators that they are entrusted with the lives of their passengers and must do their jobs with this in mind.
Carnival since June began into July, we at the department have recognized that and observed that there have been several accidents, not just in capital Kingston, but outside of capital Kingston, where there are omnibuses been involved, and we recognize the seriousness that is posed when omnibuses are involved in accident, because it is not just 1 or 2 passengers these buses are carrying. We have 18 passengers' lives at stake, and even more in some cases. So we want to appeal generally to the omnibuses owners and operators for Vinci Mass 2018 to be very, very careful, be watchful, and just look out for each other. We know the omnibus has a tendency to want to run against each other. We want to ask you to refrain from doing that during Vinci Mass 2018.
Inspector Providence is also encouraging omnibus operators not to use alcohol or drug while they are operating their vehicle.
We want to really strongly enforce that they have a policy of no drinking, because we recognize as well that number of omnibus operators are in the habit of drinking, coming to Juve, coming to the street jump up and being at bars and drinking, and then after that they go ahead and drive passengers. We want to ask them to desist from doing that. If you know you're going to use the omnibus to transport passengers, to please refrain from any drinking whatsoever, and drinking of alcohol or any use of any drug, because you have to understand the seriousness of that. When you drink or you're under the influence of drug, your judgment is impaired, and you're not able to do what you would normally do if you're not under the influence. So we want to ask you to please refrain from any sort of drinking for Vinci Mass 28.
The veteran traffic cop added that driving under the influence is an offense with a maximum penalty of 6 months and $1,500 on a first offense and up to 1 year for a repeat conviction.
Well, if you're caught drinking and driving under the influence of any drug or any alcohol, it is a matter that you can be arrested for. Once the police is satisfied and the necessary evidence is gathered that you are under the influence of drug or alcohol, it's a matter that would be taken before the court for, and then you could be fined and also confined for an offense like this. So we do not want persons to be fined or confined for this carnival season. We know it's a time when a number of persons choose to drink and choose to drive. But all that we are saying from the departmental level, that if you're going to drink or you're going to drive, please refrain from any consumption of any alcohol.
Meanwhile, Inspector Providence is again advising the public to park their vehicles in secure areas when attending carnival events. The traffic police officer said the grammar school playing field is again being made available for use with adequate security arrangements in place.
And we have sought permission to use the grammar school playing field for parking. Last year, parking for a day was $5. However, the fine has been increased a bit this year to $10 for a day, for the whole day. So you park whole day, security will be in place, the police will be there 24/7, and it's only $10 for the parking. So again, we want to let the general public know and advise them to use the parking where they are available, use the grammar school playing field. A number of vehicles can be parked, and in addition to that, it will be well lit. Police officers will be there on duty. So I don't think there should be any issues in regards to theft or person breaking into your vehicles as well.
Providence added that the cost of paid parking is significantly less than the cost of repairing a broken car window.
I'm going to ask you to park your vehicles and ensure that they are well secured. park them in lit areas. We want to ask persons as well to use the car parks where they are available, especially car parks that are well secured. And as I said, you know, we have a tendency as well to want to move away from the whole issue of not paying a $5 or $10 for the night. But it is much easier if you pay a $5 or $10 for the night for parking, which is well secured, the vehicle will be well intact when you return, than putting it in an area that is not well lit and opening your vehicle to criminal and so forth. So we are advising persons very strongly this Vinci Mas 2018 to be very careful, look out for one another, and ensure that your vehicle, your property is safe for Vinci Mas 2018.
Carnival Beat is coming right up.
All right.
Welcome back, and in Carnival Beat this evening we heard that young pannies strut their stuff yesterday as the Vinlek Junior Pan Fest sounded off at the Victoria Park, and as the notes faded, it was the Starlift Steel Orchestra and the Girls High School which emerged victorious. Bavin Oliver tells us more in this report.
Carnival City Victoria Park was alive with the sound of steel pan as 13 steel orchestras vied for the top spot in 2 categories. In the community-based bands category, Starlift dethroned last year's champion Cyan Hill Euphonium, taking the junior panorama title. Cyan Hill Euphonium had to settle for second place, with Symphonic Steel Orchestra taking the 3rd spot. Here is a highlight of the top 3 performances. In the school-based bands category, the Girls High School maintained its dominance, taking the 1st position. The C.W. Prescott Primary School emerged 2nd, with the Marico Government School coming in 3rd. Here is a highlight of the performances of the top 3 school-based bands. For Carnival Beat, I am Bavin Oliver.
And this Saturday, July 7th, the Victoria Park will be the stomping ground for a number of soca artists looking to make their name in the Vinci Mas Arena at the 2018 staging of the Raga Soca and Soca Monarch competitions. Some 21 artists are expected to cross the stage in hopes of dethroning the 2017 Raga Soca Monarch Hans John and the 2017 and 9-time Soca Monarch Delroy Fireman Hooper. Soca. In this report, Nikita Tony speaks to 3 finalists in this year's competition who are all confident that they will reign supreme.
It's going to be a supercharged night of energy and high-level performances as 21 of this nation's top and upcoming soca artists take the stage in hopes of capturing the 2018 Raga Soca and Soca Monarch titles. Tonight, we speak to 3 of those artists, 2 of whom will be competing in the soca category, namely Ricardo Recca Wilson and John Roy Matkin Haywood, and Raga Soca finalist, the sister duo of Samantha Sunshine and Nadine Nadiva Bryant. Making his comeback to the soca arena, Ricardo Recca Wilson has one goal in mind, and that is to win the 2018 Soca Monarch title. He said his 2018 hit Shella Posse was written to bring a feel-good vibe to the young and the old, and has so far received great reception from the public.
What Shella Posse is all about, it's just a group of people, no matter how big or small the group is, partying together as one family. So my family at Soca Monarch in Victoria Park on Soca Monarch night, I'm just hoping that, you know, that my Soca Monarch family appreciates what I'm doing when I put my best foot forward, and I'm hoping to come out on top. It's your boy Recca, and I'll be performing number 6 on Soca Monarch night. Get it here? Number 6. You know what they call it? We Shella Posse. What we do when Shell Down Party, we mash up the fete, the boat, the road, the truck, and Soca Monarch too. Come out, support the thing, have fun. At the end of the day, no matter what the results are, let's just come out and have fun on that night.
A young performer with big aspirations. That's how one may describe John Roy Matkin Haywood, who used the Junior Soca Monarch as a stepping stone into the bigger soca arena. Haywood said over the years he has learned to give of his best and intends to do just that come show night.
He's in the Soca Monarch, Junior Soca Monarch, and he plays second for the first time. Plays second, and for instance that, right there, so Matt can just pick up everything and just from that to now. Kind of vibe to just go at it hard and make sure everybody feel my energy. You understand? Make sure they respect the Mad King. July the 7th, Soca Monarch, Victoria Park. I will be performing number 10. Turn on the hose and let we wet up again. Soca Monarch, cause in the water it's bubble. The girl them in trouble in the water, it's bubble. Victoria Park in trouble.
Born in the United Kingdom but destined to maintain their Vincy roots. That's the aim of Samantha Sunshine and Nadine Nadiva Bryant as they make their way into the Raga Soca finals. This year being their first attempt in the soca business, the sisters say they are more than excited to be part of their culture and are ready to give patrons a special treat.
In pensions, it might be like, that's kind of different, but to us it's normal.
Our life is like,
yeah.
We go to church every Sunday with our grandma. That's how we were brought up. Our grandma is a very strong Vincentian woman.
Yeah, of the culture, and we want to see it go further. So we enjoy being a part of it. And
hey, it's Sunshine
and Nadiva.
We are performing 3rd at the Raga Soca Monarch finals. Make sure you're there.
Yeah, make sure you're there. It's gonna be amazing. Giving you what you want, so take it. You know you want to take it. My love, you want to take it. Giving you what you want, so take it. You know you want to take it. My love, you want to take it, baby. Yeah.
Undoubtedly the biggest event to take place during the 10 days of Vincy Mass, patrons are already placing their bets on who will take this year's Raga Soca and Soca crowns. But they'll just have to wait and see who reigns supreme come Saturday night. Nikita Tony reporting for Carnival Beat.